Welcome to our Yomi shiur. We are in Daf Nun Hey Amud Aleph, following the Dirshu cycle. Welcome back to me. We are in the second line, and today we're going to learn about mutual communal responsibility, about the importance of the mitzvah of Techocha. When you see things are going wrong, you better, if you can, if you have the ability, you better try and help other people see the light, the truth. So now, this year's Le'ilu Nishmas of Imer Menachem Ben Akiva, Tzlochas Kol Klal Yisrael. Rav Yehuda, story time. Rav Yehuda Hava Yosef Kamed Shmuel. Rav Yehuda was a well-known Talmid of Shmuel, and he was sitting and learning in front of Shmuel. Asayahi Itita, came a woman to confront Shmuel. Shmuel was a dayan. Shmuel was a well-known dayan. It's mentioned many times. Shmuel is a dayan. Came a woman, and katzavcha kamei. She screamed. She shouted in front of Shmuel. She was complaining about some kind of, injustice that was done to her. He didn't pay attention to her. Omar lei. So Rav Yehuda approached Shmuel and said, Lo sova lemar. Don't you as a kovedik away, doesn't he think, meaning you, yeah? Don't you think, Rabbi, oitem ozno mizakas dal, gamu yikra velo yane, the one who's otem, like cheder itum, the one who blocks his ears, the one who, basically stops his ears from zakas, from listening to the cry of the poor man, gamu yikra velo yane, he too, mida keneged mida, will call Hashem, and Hashem won't answer him. If you don't listen to the Oni who's crying, Hashem will not listen to your crying. Don't you realize that, Rabbi? And I saw really that they bring down from here, that's one of the sources, that if done respectfully, a Talmud can also rebuke his Rov, if you know how to do it. Amar lei, so now the response of Shmuel was, Shinena, you sharp one. He always called him Shinena. Reishach bekariri, reisha dereshach bechamimi. Your head will be, so to speak, punished with cold water. The head of your head, meaning the one on top of me, he'll be punished with hot, scalding water. In other words, I am not the person on top. If this lady is screaming, it's really the fault of Mar Ukva. He's the one in charge. He's on top of me, and he's the one who should take care of her case, and he'll be judged much more harshly than me. Because, Ha Yosef Mar Ukva, look, there is Mar Ukva, and he's sitting Av Beis Din. Ma'ukva was an Av Beis Din, and it says Dichtiv. What does it say about the kings, about the leaders, such as Av Beis Din or Melech? It says Beis David. The Novi is approaching the Davidic dynasty, the Davidic house, and Hashem says, Koyamar Hashem Dinu laboiker mishpat. You should judge in the morning already. V'atzilu gozul miyad oishek. The gazul, the one stolen from, the victim of the theft, you should atzilu, save him from the oshek, from the one who steals from him. Otherwise, my wrath will go out like fire, ubaro, and it will burn. Nobody will be able to extinguish the fire. A very elaborate, because of the bad deeds. So the pasuk, you have it. So basically, we see that people like the dynasty of David, the kings who came from David, later on in history, this is the Navi in Yirmiyahu. Basically, Yirmiyahu is telling them, those who come from Yehuda, from David, if they don't listen to the people who are being taken advantage of, then Hashem will punish. The fire will come, and that's really bad. And mechabed. So I saw in one of the Meforshim, I remember I saw somebody else, I saw a few Meforshim, he says that Mar Ukva was himself a descendant of David the Melech. Yes, he was a top dayan. We just saw yesterday, he was a rich man. He was a very powerful person. We saw yesterday, right? Mar Ukva was rich and powerful, and a dayan. He was the top of the Hechefenster. He was the top of society. And he should have known, that's what Shmuel said. He should have taken care of that woman, and otherwise he'll be punished just like his ancestor. The Malachim of Beis David should be punished for not taking care of the injustice done in their times. Rabbi Simon, Rab Zera approached Rab Simon and told him, "Lochichinu mar lehani deber ish galusa." Why don't you rebuke? Why don't you give techocha to those of Beirish Galusa? In other words, Reish Galusa sometimes they were better, sometimes not so good. Reish Galusa very depends who they were, right? There were different Reish Galusa, different generations. Reish Galusa is the head, is basically the Rosh HaKol of the Bavel Jewry. So you have to rebuke them. There are certain things that are doing wrong. The people of Reish Galusa, the people of the Jewish government of the Judenrat, the Jewish leaders in Bavel, you have to rebuke them. There's sometimes they do wrong things. Omerle, so Simon replied and said, Lo mekabli minoi. They won't accept from me. It's a lost case. They won't listen. Omerle, so Abzeo is responding, Afal gav de lo mekabli lochichinu mar. Even though they won't accept from you, you should still rebuke them now. That is not so simple. It's not so simple because look at Tosfos. Do you really have to rebuke every Chiloni, Tinok Shanishba, and tell him why are you eating Chazir? Where is the limit? Look at Tosfos. The first Tosfos in the page in the corner, the first one. Says Tosfos. Oh, as we see later in the Sugya, you're not sure there's some kind of tzad of probability. Maybe they'll accept. We're going to see from the following story, we'll see that. If they know for sure, they will definitely not be Mekabel, because, let's say you tried in the past, and they were definitely not Mekabel, they will not accept the Techocha, then Hanach Lahem. Then it's better to leave them alone. Why? Because we have a famous concept, which applies in Halacha many times, Mutav Shu Shoigigin Ve'al Yu Mezidin. It's better if people sin, they sin out of shgoga, out of lack of knowledge, when they're not cognizant, value mazidin, rather they're amazed and it brings it down. It's a Gemara L'Kamon, Dafku Memches. So you have to know when. It's a very fine line. You know how to draw the line, but as long as you're not for sure, as long as you're not sure that they won't accept, give it a try. And now we're going to bring a story from the Navi, fascinating story from Navi Yechezkel to prove the point of Rab Zera. This is still Rab Zera talking, explaining how important it is to accept the Chocha. Give me a second, please. Which means HaKadosh Baruch Hu never promised to do something good and then regretted the good promise and changed it and turned it to bad. If Hashem promised to do something good, HaKadosh Baruch Hu, He'll do the good thing. Except for the following case, the following story. It says here about Yechezkel, one of the visions Yechezkel saw, one of them was that, the people, there were those people, they were basically behaving very lotzanua, very not nice, defecating in Beis Hamikdash, and then they said, with the backs to the Heichal, unbelievable, very, very terrible things. We saw it in the morning shiur, a few shiurim ago in the morning shiur, you'll see that. So basically doing the toilet, terrible things. And really, Yerushalayim, the times of Bayis Rishon, unfortunately, they were they behaved terribly bad. And then it says that Yirmiyahu saw Hashem speaking to a malach. And basically, before we start, I'll tell you, Yechezkel saw a vision of 6 malachim standing by the Mizbeach, and amongst them, in the middle of the 6, was one malach. All these 6, they had tools of destruction, hammers and I don't know, knives. Like Arabs, lahavdil. And there were malachim chabala, angels of destruction. Amongst them was one malach with a quill, like of a sofer, like the pen of a sofer. And what did Hashem tell the middle malach, who was wearing white clothes? He was the good one. There were 6 baddies and 1 goodie in the middle, the good malach. What did Hashem tell the good malach? Hashem told to him, soon we'll see who he was, Avoir betoch ha'ir, betoch Yerushalayim, you should pass amongst the city of Yerushalayim, v'tvei tav al mitzvah ha'anoshim. I want you to write, tav means 2 things. Tav means like a symbol, a sign, and tav means the letter tav, the last letter in the aleph base. I want you to mark the foreheads of the people who moan and groan because of all the to'evos, all the abominations that are done in Yerushalayim. So the people who got the letter Taf were good people. And what's the story? Destruction, Taf, what's the story? Everything will be clear, Bezos Hashem. Gabriel, that Malach, the good Malach who stood amongst the 6 bad Malachim, was the angel Gabriel. Yeah, Ish Lovo Shabodim is Gabriel. Sometimes Leonovi, he refers to Gabriel. Hashem is telling you should know Gabriel Malach is usually a Malach of destruction. Is Midas Adin. Here, Gabriel actually is used as something positive and good. Lech urshoim al mitzchan shel tzadikim tav shel dyoy. I want you to write on the foreheads of the tzadikim the letter tav made out of dyoy, of ink. Shelo yishletu b'hem malachei chabala. In other words, yeah, we have all these 6 malachei chabala that are about to go through Yerushalayim, destroy the whole city, and kill everybody almost. And I want you to write on the tzaddikim, basically to mark them so the malachim know he is untouchable. Taf means a good guy. Soon we'll see what Taf represents. Well, mitzchem shel rishoim tav shel dam. Wow. The rishoim, they have a tav of blood, the letter tav written in blood. So the malachei chabala should take hold of the bad people. So the Maharsha asks, why do you need both bad and good? Why can't you work by default? Right? Either doing the bad ones or the good ones. Maharsha says there are middle ones. The middle ones were not killed right away, and they were not zoicha right away, like Beinonim. So they didn't have any letter. They were to be discussed later or get a less harsh punishment. But the tzaddikim and l'shoim, either dioy or blood. The blood means bad, bloody. It's all bad. And the one chas v'shalom, and the one from dioy, maybe dioy is like Torah, maybe like Sefer Torah. I'm thinking now, dioy versus dam, like the Talmidei Chachomim. But soon it's going to be not a happy end. So originally, what was Hashem's original plan, so to speak? There will be a pogrom, Chas Shalom. 6 Malachei Chabala will do what? Go and a whole rampage through Yerushalayim, kill everybody, but the tzaddikim will be saved because they're tzaddikim. They don't deserve to die. What do you want from them? However, things start getting sour now. But then Midas Adin came in front of a Kadosh Baruch Hu, and Midas Adin is Midas Adin. That's strict and that's very exacting. And what did Midas Adin say? Ribbon Shalom, manishtanu elu me'elu. Funny question. Yeah, what's the difference between tzaddikim and the Rishoim? Well, what do you mean? Amar lo, halalu tzaddikim gmurim, halalu Rishoim gmurim. What do you mean? These are tzaddikim gmurim, these are Rishoim gmurim. The Maharsha is medayek, like he said before, gmurim and gmurim, complete. They are middle of the road kind of people, middle class. So they're Beinonim. That's a different story. But you're asking, what's the difference between Rishoim gmurim and tzaddikim gmurim? Well, what's the problem with you? Amar lefanov, oy, Ribbon Shalom. Those tzaddikim gmurim, precisely because they're tzaddikim, they're not beinonim, they should have protested when they saw all the abominations of the Rishoim, and they didn't. They were sitting and learning, going to kollel, sitting and doing whatever they wanted, and they didn't rebuke anybody. Politically correct, diplomatic, I don't say, live and let live, liberal, yeah. They didn't say anything. Omar lo, wait a second. Omar lo, because Baruch Hu said, don't be so harsh with the tzaddikim. They're not politically correct. No, I surely know, and I'm Hashem, even if they would have been rebuking them, they wouldn't have accepted. What do you want from the poor tzaddikim? I know that even if they would have told the people, stop doing Avodah Zarah, stop doing Yilarayis, they wouldn't have listened, they would have left it them. And here comes the punchline. Here comes the punchline of Rab Zera from before. Omro, so now, Amar lefanov said Midas Adin to Hashem, Ribbon Shalom, im lefanecha golui, lahem yigolui. Wow. You're Hashem, so you know everything. But those tzaddikim, how do they know? How would they know that those people are not going to listen to them? Yeah. Why? Because they're leftists, because they have 3 earrings over here, you never know. Maybe Enochanami, maybe they would have listened. We know they wouldn't have, but those mortals, they should have tried. That's what Tosis meant before. As long as there's any kind of remote chance that the person would accept, then you do have to rebuke him. Because he doesn't know. You have to do your shtadlis. Behind the chtiv, here comes the pasuk, which is the most tragic pasuk. Now, that's what it means when it says, Zoken, Bochu, Ubsulo, Taf, Venoshim, ay. The old men, the young men, the virgin, the Taf, Noshim, children, women, Tahargu, the Mashkis, you destroy all of them. However, Balkol Ishashar Olov Hatav Al Tigoshu. Originally Hashem said, whoever has the letter Taf on his forehead, don't approach him, don't kill him. So that was original. That was the original plan. Now, Umimikdoshai Tochelu. Mimikdoshai Tochelu, start hitting from the Mikdoshai. What does that mean? The first people that were hit were the tzaddikim, mikdoshai, and the people in the Beis Hamikdash. Tani of Yosef, mikdoshai ela mikudoshai. The people that were hit first were the tzaddikim before the rishonim, because they were mikudoshim, they were kedoshim, and those people, Hashem's plan changed. Originally, he told the Malachei Chabolo, Gabriel, you should write taf, and the six destroyers should not touch them. Once Midas Adin started, bagatz, she had a bagatz against them. Yeah, she basically applied against them, right? And said, no. They should have rebuked the others. Then the first one to beat were the Mekudoshim, the Kedoshim. You know who are these Kedoshim? First white line. Elu bnei Adam shekimu sator kulam aleph v'ataf. Wow. These people were mekayim the whole Torah from Aleph to Taf. Those tzaddikim that did all the mitzvahs from A to Z, from Aleph to Taf, and nevertheless they had to die. Excuse me, isn't there a steer over here? Because we said that they're not mekayim techocho. The answer is, I don't remember who says it already. No, they never said we are not mekayim techocho, right? They never said, we're not muchiach. Maybe they were muchiach the friends in Koilon. Maybe they were muchiach the wives, but they were not muchiach the rishonim. So although they were mekayim 613 Taryag mitzvahs conceptually, but they did not apply to chocho to the rishonim. That was their mistake. Even the rishonim, they should have been muchiach. That's where they went wrong. In the quality and quantity of the techocho. Should have done that, and they didn't. And that's why they were punished big time. See under Holocaust. Umiyad, what happened next? Miyad right away. 6 people came from the upper gate. Asher mafne tzafoyna, which mafne, what's the nikud over here? Which is mafane, which is turning towards the north. Each one had a tool of destruction in his hand. This is what I told you before. One man amongst them, Lavush Abadim, he's wearing the white clothes, the clothes of Pishtan, that's a Malach, Gabriel. The Keses, a Soifer B'Motanov, in his, girdle, in his belt, was the quilt of the Soifer. They came and they stood by the Mizbech Nechoshes, by the copper Mizbech. That's where they stood. That's the end of the Pasuk. Was there a copper mizbeach bechlal in the times of Bais Rishon? What are you talking about? Clearly not. We all know mizbeach nechoshes was a very small one. Mizbeach nechoshes was one of 10 amas where in the Mishkan. The one that built by Shlomo, which is the mizbeach we're talking about, was way bigger, right? It was much bigger. It was 32 over 32, right? On all sides with a huge kevesh, made out of stone, much bigger, Also 10 amas high, but way wider, way wider, much bigger than the Mizbeach Nechoshes. So which Mizbeach Nechoshes are you talking about? Amar lo Kadosh Baruch Hu told them, Hatchilu mimokim sho'erim shira lefonai. You should start, the starting point, your starting point of your very sad pogrom could be where the songs are being sung in Beis Hamikdash. What does it have to do with Nechoshes? Nechoshes is the metal which many kelim, many instruments were made out of Nechoshes. I had a little bit of a chiddush. Can I share a chiddush? I don't know. I haven't prepared enough with all the meforshim. I don't know if what I'm saying is true or not. I was wondering, what is that? Why? I didn't see Rashi, Tosfos, Maharsha. Nobody that I saw explained what's the point. Why is the Novi and the Gemara telling me that this started from a place of Shira, of where the Levim were singing? Maybe the answer is as follows, but maybe. What's Shira? Shira is not like a song you sing on your own. The Shira of the Levim, there were thousands of Levim. Somebody told me last week there were thousands of Levim in one orchestra, right? In an orchestra, you have to also take care of the other instruments. You can't play the violin very, very beautifully while the other person is playing really bad. That's cacophony. It's not going to sound nice. You have to be in harmony. That's the message. You can't just play your own beautiful tune and be Haredi and be tzaddik and not care about others. Because if he's playing and is really bad and off key, then your tune also doesn't sound good. Maybe that's a message over here from the Shira. That's the idea I had. So, Uma Ninu Shisha Anoshim, who are those 6 people? Rav Chizda said the 6 people, meaning the 6 angels of destruction, are Ketzef, Af, Bechema. Ketzef, Af, Bechema are 3 types of anger, right? And also the other 3, Umashchis, Umeshaber, Umechale. The one who destroys, the one who breaks, and the one who finishes. So it's interesting. It's like 3 negative emotions and 3 tachlis destruction. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yes, that's true. And there too, there was also a siman on the doors of the Jews, but there he worked. Now he didn't, yeah, because here they didn't rebuke each other. Yeah. Why is the letter that was marked on the head of the tzaddikim, the reshoyim? Yeah. Why is it dafka the last letter of the Aleph Beis? Well, what's the point? Amarav tav tichye tav tomus. Tav means you will. You know that in future you will live or you will die. Ushmul Omar, what's taf? Taf is the last letter. Taf is the first letter of the word what tam. What's tam? Over. Tam v'nishlam. Tam azchus ovois. Shmuel says, game over. We used to live by the zchus ovois, and Beis Hamikdash was with the zchus ovois, the Kedoshim, Avraham, Yitzchak, Yaakov. Their zchus, their merit can still, basically, we can eat off their zchus. They have a big credit in Hashem's bank. The Avos Kedoshim, Avraham, Yitzchak, Yaakov. And even though people were Rishoyim, they could still survive by borrowing from those funds of the Avos. Game over. Taf means that's it. Yeah, your bank account in Shemaim is empty, is cleared out from the zchuyos of the fathers, of the forefathers. Rabbi Yochanan Omar, tochun zchus avos. Rabbi Yochanan says, tochun zchus avos, the other way around. Seemingly he argues and he says, no, the zchus of the avos will still be able to protect us. In other words, even though there's destruction now, the zchus avos will help us in future. So you have to know that I would like to see Tosfos here actually. One of the things Tosfos says is that Shmuel and Rabbi Yochanan don't argue. Depends if it's tzaddikim or rashaim. The tzaddikim, even to have zchus avos, you have to have some kind of zchus yourself. It says the zchus avos is zakut. You have to have the same clarity of the avos. You have to continue their way, then you get the zchus. But if you have nothing to do the avos, you don't have zchus avos. So Shmuel is talking about rashaim, and Rabbi Yochanan that says the zchus avos works is talking about the tzaddikim, right? So no, the tzaddikim have a zchus. Why? Tochun zchus avos, tochun yichanen chanina. You will work for the tzaddikim still, according to Rabbi Yochanan. I would continue. Then we'll see Tosfos if we have time. It's very important. Tosfos, very, very important in Ashkofa. But let's continue for now. We have time to see the Gemara and then Tosfos. Rish Lakish says, Tav, what's the letter Tav? The letter Tav, the last letter, is the end of Hashem's stamp. Hashem's kilu signature. Hashem's signature, stample, is what? It finishes with the letter Tav. What is it? Very good. Akash Baruch Hu Choisam is emes, because Hashem is emes and he hates people who lie, and emes is the one who connects to Hashem. And also Rashi says here, it's not a cute idea, it's Rashi. Why is emes the Choisam of Hashem? Hashem sort of put Aleph, Mem, and Taf, evenly dispersed through the Aleph base. Aleph is the first letter, Taf is the last letter, Mem is the middle. For beginning, middle, and end, everything has to be with emes. That's the Choisam of Hashem. So Taf is like the last part of the signature to show HaKadosh Baruch Hu puts his own stamp over that destruction. He gives his haskama that this has to happen. Like, where was Hashem in the Holocaust? He was in the Holocaust. That's where he was. He decided that's what has to happen. Now, Omar B'Shmuel Banachmeni, Elu B'nei Odom, Shekimu Satorah Kula Me'al Taf. Oh, what does that mean? Shmuel Banachmeni is taking us back to what we said originally. Very nice. Even those people, the big tzaddikim, were Mekayim the Kol Torah Kula, including Techocho. When they saw their friend in Koilel, I don't know, not davening so nicely, they rebuked him. But they didn't rebuke the leftist in the street. Who are they? That was a problem. So even though they're Mekayim the whole Torah, the level of Techocha did not reach far enough, and therefore they were punished, and that's why the letter Taf represents that. Now, more about Zchus Avos before we see the Tosfos. Now there is a historical, so to speak, question. At what point in Jewish history did the Zchus Avos, when did it finish? When was it over and done with? The Zchus Avos at some point already was maxed out. You borrow from the bank account, from the overdraft, at some point finished. The Zchus Avos is over. When is it? Amarav Mimois Hoshea ben Be'eri. Now this is very hard to know mitzad history. When is that? I'll tell you why. Hoshea ben Be'eri was a Novi, and Hoshea ben Be'eri, I saw this evening, he lived long because he basically outlived 4 different kings. In his time, every king had like the parallel equivalent Novi. Hoshea ben Be'eri lived through 4 Malchei Yehuda. So I don't know at what point he said that nevuah, but at some point in his life, he's giving a nevuah saying, guys, game over, fun is over. What did he say? Shene'emar, Agale es navlusa, not nivlata. Agale es navlusa le'eni me'ahavea. He compares Knesset Israel to a woman, lo aleinu, unfaithful to her husband. Like we are unfaithful to Hashem with Avodah Zarah. I will reveal her navlusa, her disgusting nivlus, her disgusting behavior, her abominational behavior in front of her lovers. Even the goyim will hate her. The ish lo yetzilena miyodi. Nobody will save her from me. Who is nobody? Ish. What's an ish? Ish is a tzaddik. Even a tzaddikim, meaning Avraham, Yitzchak, and Yaakov, will not be able to save her from me. Up until now, Hashem wanted to punish Klal Yisrael, and then the Ovos HaKadoshim said, oh, no, please don't. We have his chus. Over. Now the Ovos HaKadoshim cannot vouch for Klal Yisrael anymore. Shmuel says, Mimei Chazael. Chazael was a Goyish king. Chazael was a non-Jewish king from Aram, and he bothered Klal Yisrael, and in his days, Hashem helped with Bnei Yisrael, and that was the last time they relied on Zchus Avos. What does it say? Shene'emar, Chazael melech Aram lo chatzes Yisrael. He pressed Klal Yisrael, he oppressed them. Kol yimei Yoachaz, the entire days of King Yoachaz. Uksi vayichan Hashem oisom v'yirachmem. Hashem had mercy on them and gave Chanina. He was merciful towards them. And nice. Vayifen aleihem. He turned his face to them in a good way. Leman briso esavom Yitzchak v'Yaakov. Oh, so he did actually, he did use Zchus Avos. V'loi ova shchisam v'loi shlicham al ponov. He did not want to destroy them, and he did not cast them away from him. Ad ato. There is Zchus Avos. Says Rachamim, and Hashem did not throw them away. Ad ato. Ad kan. Up until the time of Chazael, there was the last time. That's it. The party is over. Once Chazael was won over, they were helped against Chazael. At that point, their bank account was maxed from the Ovos HaKadoshim. The schus was done with. Abba Shimon Levi Omar. Abba Shimon Levi says, Mimei Eliyahu. Oh, the famous scene, the famous biblical episode of the time of Eliyahu. What happened with Eliyahu? We all know that he called the Nevi Baal, right? He was always had issues with Achav and Izebel, and they were into Baal very much. And then he came and he had this very big rally, big revelation in Mount, which one? Carmel. And there he faced all the Nevi Baal. And what did he say? Shenema, what did the Leonovi say in that very detrimental moment? He said, V'yiba aloisa mincha. Dafka, in the davening of the mincha, that's when Eliyahu was answered. Mincha is very important to daven. In the time of the mincha, Vayigash Eliyahu came, approached Vayomer. He started davening to Hashem. What was the thing? He wanted Hashem to bring the fire down to burn his korban and not the Nevi Baal's korban. like a Lavdil competition. Hashem Elokei Avram, Yitzchak v'Yisrael. Oh, he's davening to Hashem b'shem, yeah, as the father of the Ovois. Hayom Yevoda, today it shall be known, Ki Ato Elokim b'Yisrael. Did you hear that? Hayom, today. What do you mean today? Every day. Today should be the last time. Give me one more time. Hayom. Yeah, I know that we're so bad, so full of Baal, but Hayom, give me the one extra day, one last day, to be known that you are Elokim b'Yisrael. V'ani avdecho, and I'm your slave. And what I did was by your command, by your tzivui, and so it happened, was Big Kiddush Hashem, and everybody shouted the Nevi'ah Baal Sheker, Hashem hu Elokim. That's the source of the Pasuk. Hashem hu Elokim. There was a mamish like a second Matan Torah. It was like a second Matan Torah. Rabbi Yochanan argues and says, Imei Chizkiyo, in the time of the Melech Chizkiyo, who was a big tzaddik, and Klal Yisrael was in very good shape over there, Shenemar, it says, Lemer be'hamisra ve'l'sholoim ein ketz. But Misra is like being like a king. Yeah, there was much Misra, much kingship, royalty. Ve'l'sholoim ein ketz, there was a lot of peace to no end. Al kisa David val mamlachtoi. In times of Chizkiyo, things were very good. Yeah, he was sitting on the throne of David, mamlachtoi. Lachinois v'sadu b'mishpat v'tzedakah. He prepared the malchus. He established it with mishpat and with charity. Me'atavad oilom. However, me'atavad oilom. From now on till forever. Kinas Hashem tzvokas ta'asazois. If you want any help from Hashem after the times of Chizkiah, which were a big heyday, from now on it's not zchus avois. It's kinas Hashem tzvokas. Hashem may be mekane. Hashem may fight your wars, but it's mitzad Hashem fighting the goyim. But it's not because you have schus. Hashem is mekane against the goyim. At this happy note, let's look at Tosfos. This question obviously may have entered your mind as we were learning. How can you say that schus obviously is over, right? We're davening, we daven 3 times a day. And how many times we mentioned the Akedah? Right, and the slichos and all this, we obviously will live all the time with the zchus of Avraham, Yitzchak, Yaakov. And here it looks like it was game over way before we were born. Yeah, in the times of the Nevi'im. So Hector, it says, look at this. It's Shmuel Omar Tam zchus ovois. Rabbi Yochanan Motoch zchus ovois. Omar Beinu Tam. The zchus ovois tama, aval bris ovois loy tama. Tzvei dinim. These are 2 different things. Let me explain. As far as I understand, I'm not a big Baal Machshava, but when I understood it's like this. The Chus Avos, as I said, the Avos really had Chus. The Avos were Avos. They did many tremendous mitzvahs and established Klal Yisrael, and the were Emid Ben Yisraelis. They have accumulated, if I compare that to the world of Maisa, they have millions in the bank. The person has billions in the bank. The son inherits the father. The son doesn't work. The son does bad things, a batlan. But he eats from the father's savings. Okay, legit, but it's going to be over one day. The bris is different. Bris means Hashem basically made a covenant, an agreement with the Avos, and that agreement is forever. The whole idea of bris Avos is that even if we sin, still the bris applies. Because Hashem basically signed a contract with the Avos. I have a bris with you that we have mutual basically agreement and obligation and commitment, and therefore whatever happens with the children, the zchus Avos will help them, and that works forever. And I'll tell you something very nice, which I heard years ago as a child. I was a very, very young preteen. Till today, I always think about it. Such a beautiful idea. We say, no, that's not the one. That's another one. That's another one. Rabbi Elchanan Wasserman, the one I'm about to tell you now is not, no, it's Rabbi Elchanan Wasserman. He says, maybe goy livnei bneiim leman shmoy be'avo. What does it mean leman shmoy? Maybe goy livnei bneiim. Hashem brings the redeemer for the bnei bneiim, for the descendants of the Avos. Leman shmoy, for his good name. In other words, we don't deserve to really be saved, right? The way we behave, but Hashem wants to keep his good name. If I sign a contract with you, right? I want to keep my good name. I'll fulfill my part in the contract, even though I don't think you deserve it. I'm sure you would, yeah. I don't think, or let's say your son misbehaves. Also not true, yeah? I'll say, okay, I'll still keep it, but I will do it with a begrudgingly. I'll do it, this son, I don't like him. I like the father, I don't like the son. Why do I still have to keep the agreement with the son? I have no choice. But HaKadosh Baruch Hu, be'ahava, is really keeping the agreement with the Avos, the bris, yeah, because he wants to be Leman Shmoy, he signed the contract, but he still does it towards us with love. Not like with, okay, I promised your father, so I have to do it. No, Hashem does it ba'ava. Beautiful. That's a Balchonon. Yep. So now continues Tosfos. The Aksiv Zochat is Brisi Yaakov. Oh, the Bris of Yaakov. Remember, Aflachar Golus. Oh, this is even after Golus. That's the whole idea. Yeah, we just had that last week's parsha. Even after Golus, we misbehaved terribly, and still, HaKadosh Baruch Hu remembers the Bris, not the Zchus, which is the Maisim. The contract. The contract is a contract. You sign a contract forever. Finished. Vanan. Oh. When we remember and we remind Hashem, so to speak, we mention the zchus avos, it's not the zchus, it's a bris. That's one explanation. Okay, I would finish here. Beseder. Now the read brings down Shmuel Rabbi Yochanan. Don't argue, as I told you. Let's continue. Omar Avami, ein misa b'lo chet ve'nisurin b'lo ovoin, which means, as we know, chet means even by mistake. Yeah, a person would not die without a chet. The Gemara is serious about it. If, in theory, a person would never, ever, ever sin, even by mistake, chet is a mistaken sin, he wouldn't have died. The Gemara will tell us later on, there were 4 people, we're going to see that tomorrow, Mitzvah Hashem. 4 people never sinned, and they died because of the Nachat Shakadmoini, because we are human beings, otherwise they don't deserve to. And misa below Isuri, and Isurim below Ovoin. However, people only get Yisurim, mamish, like suffering, because of Ovoin. Ovoin is the chet b'mezid. Yeah, if you sin b'mezid, then Hashem would give you Yisurim. The person who never sins b'mezid wouldn't have Yisurim. Continues the Gemara to elaborate. Ein misa below chet, sorry, d'chtiv, hanefesh hachoites, hitamus, the one who does the chet, the one who sins even mistakenly, should die. Ben lo yisa b'avoin av, the son does not have to suffer because of the sin of the father. The father doesn't have to be punished because of the sin of the son. Tzidkas tzaddik, all of Tia. The tzidk of the tzaddik will be upon him. The tzaddik gets his schar. Rishas Rasha, all of Tia. And the wicked deeds of the Rasha will fall upon him. That's number 1. And Yisurin below Ovoin. How do you know that the only reason for Yisurin, for Lo Leinu, suffering, affliction, is Ovoin, is sin b'mezid? Dechtiv upokaditi b'shevet pisham. Ubenegoim avoinom, yeah, negoim are mamish physical bad yisurim. They come because of chet b'mezid. If you get, you should be happy. You should know people who suffer physically, as hard as it is, should be happy that at least they have yisurim mechaperim. It's a kapar and avoinos, kaparos avoinos. Meisivi. Now, okay, I don't have to continue now. We'll continue a little bit in the name of base question on what we just said. Malach HaShoros told Hashem, why did you basically punish Adam HaRishon with death? Why did you, basically told him he has to die? What do you mean? Mitzvah kol tzivisi, I commanded him one mitzvah kala, one thing. We're not allowed to eat millions of things. He's not allowed to eat one thing, and even that goes over. He broke the one avera. Amru Leo, so Malach HaShoros told the Kodesh Baruch Hu, Moshe ve'Aaron, Shekimo kol Torah kulo, v'meisu. Wait, Moshe Aaron, as opposed to Adam HaRishon, they were perfect. They were Mekayim kol Torah kulo, and they still died. How do you explain that? Amar Lehem, so he told them, Mikre echad l'tzadik v'l'rosho l'toiv. Yeah, in other words, no, both tzaddik and rosho, they both die, which means, according to this opinion, which contradicts what we said before, even if the person is as tzaddik as Moshe Rabbeinu, still he dies. Yeah. Now the shaila is Moshe Rabbeinu did have chatoim on his level. That's a question we'll deal with tomorrow. But that's a question, and as that's going to be the answer, though, the answer is going to be Udamar Kiyaitana, the one who says that Moshe died. Yeah, is because Moshe did have a sin. He did sin. The Tana of Shemel Omer, Moshe Aaron b'cheta meisu. No. It does fit into the description. Moshe Aaron, in their heilige level, they had some kind of chet, and because of that, they died. If not for that chet, Moshe Aaron wouldn't have died. Because he did not believe in me to be makdisheni al mei meriva, right? It was tremendous, again, in their daga, chilul Hashem, because of the Chilul Hashem, you did not demonstrate enough emunah, you're going to die, Moshe and Aaron. Hi, Mantimbi. Mashma, had you, yes, believed in me, and he would have spoken to the rock and not hit him, then your time did not come to die, and maybe you wouldn't have died ever. There are some people who went to Shemayim alive also. That will be discussed more tomorrow, Mitzvah Hashem. Atzlocha uvrocho. Thank you very, very much. Thank you to everybody who watches us on YouTube and everyone who came here and everyone on Zoom. They will be zoiche to no Yisurim Chas v'Sholom, only Simchas with Mashiach very soon. No Yisurim.